The city buzzed with early morning chaos, vans honked impatiently, street hawkers called out their wares, and children darted between adults, their laughter cutting through the roar of engines. At the edge of the sidewalk, Lily crouched beside a small girl clutching a torn backpack, her hands deftly arranging a bundle of books and a wrapped sandwich. Her calm eyes met the child's worried gaze, and a soft smile broke across her face. "Here, take this. You'll do wonderfully today," she said. Across the street, Ethan Solomon's black Mercedes rolled to a halt at the red light. He hadn't planned to stop here. His mother had asked him to check a property development nearby, but something made him glance out the window. And there she was, a young woman kneeling in the dirt, helping a child no one else seemed to notice. Something about her presence tugged at him, though he quickly buried the feeling. "I'm already taken," he reminded himself, glancing at the passenger seat where Tina tapped her perfectly manicured fingers on her phone. Tina didn't even look up. Her attention was elsewhere, on the latest news of high fashion, the new brunch opening, the flawless selfie she had just posted. She hummed lightly, exuding an aura of polished confidence, the kind that demanded admiration and left little room for empathy. Ethan's eyes lingered on her for a brief moment before snapping back to Lily. The child clutched her backpack closer, glancing up at Lily with wide, anxious eyes. Lily reached out, adjusting the strap and smoothing down the girl's ruffled hair. She handed over the books and food as though it were the most natural thing in the world, an act of generosity unnoticed by almost everyone, except one young man in a black Mercedes. Ethan's chest tightened, a strange feeling he couldn't name. He wanted to stop the car, step out, say something, but the memory of Tina's laughter, her eyes hidden behind sunglasses, held him back. The light turned green, and the car moved on, leaving Lily kneeling on the street corner. He swallowed hard and tried to refocus, but her image refused to leave his mind. "Ethan, are you even listening?" Tina snapped, eyes finally lifting from her phone. Her voice was sharp, practiced, an immediate return to center stage. "I said, don't forget we need to finalize the wedding plans this weekend. I want every detail perfect." She tapped her nails against the leather seat, deliberate and impatient. Ethan nodded absently. Yes, sure." His voice lacked conviction, his mind replaying the scene he had just witnessed. Lily had moved through the chaos of the street like a quiet force, gentle but unstoppable. It was the kind of presence money couldn't buy, power couldn't summon, and status couldn't command. He tried to shake it off, but a part of him resented how little he had noticed something so vital. Tina leaned back, scrolling through her phone again, laughing lightly at something on social media. Ethan watched her, feeling an unfamiliar weight pressing on his chest. He had dated many women, courted charm and beauty, measured them by wit and ambition, but for the first time, he wondered if he had been looking at the wrong things all along. Later that afternoon, back in the Solomon family estate, Ethan found himself in the study, watching the city through tall glass windows. He had driven Tina to a high-end boutique for a dress fitting, leaving him alone in the estate that had always been his refuge. Yet the image of Lily, kneeling on the street, helping a child, refused to leave him. Every polite laugh, every careful smile she had shared with the little girl haunted him, a quiet echo against the echo of Tiffany's sharp, rehearsed giggles. "Ethan, you seem distracted today," his mother, Mrs. Grace Solomon, observed later in the sitting room. Her voice was soft but carried the authority of someone accustomed to seeing through facades. She had a way of making ordinary conversation feel like an examination, and today she intended to probe just enough. He shrugged, brushing off the comment. "Just business, Mom." "Interesting business, isn't it, that you notice so much about the city, yet sometimes overlook the people who matter most," she said lightly, a faint smile tugging at the corners of her lips. "I met someone special today," she continued, casually dropping the words as if testing the waters. a young lady. She stopped to help a frail woman on the street, carrying heavy bags, shielding her from the traffic. A small act, perhaps, but one that leaves an impression. Ethan barely looked up. He murmured. The conversation felt trivial in comparison to the pressing reports on his tablet. Yet deep inside, something stirred, a quiet recognition, as though a seed had been planted in soil long left untouched. Mrs. Grace leaned back, her eyes never leaving his. She had a calmness, a dignity, something that is rare, and yet impossible to ignore once it crosses your path. Her voice carried a weight that made Ethan shift in his chair. He swallowed, a flicker of unease brushing against the surface of his certainty. Later that evening, Ethan and Tina attended a charity event downtown, a place where the world mingled, and the powerful displayed generosity. While Tina engaged with socialites, commenting on the grandeur and subtly asserting her charm, Ethan's eyes caught movement near the entrance. An elderly man's phone fell. Lily bent to pick up the phone. Time seemed to stretch. Ethan's pulse quickened, a strange tug at his chest. He watched as she helped the elderly man, offered a soft word, and smiled gently. The scene was mundane to the world, but to him, it was a revelation. He could see now what he had missed in the flash of his daily life, small kindnesses that spoke of character far beyond status or wealth. But he didn't move. He didn't call out. Tina was beside him, talking animatedly, oblivious. He clenched his fist inside his pocket, frustration and admiration warring silently. Why didn't I notice before? He thought. Why did I never see the real value in quiet strength? Later, back in the safety of the Solomon estate, Mrs. Grace spoke again, casually, yet her words carried weight. The kind of girl men overlook, she said, voice soft but deliberate, is usually the one that saves them. Ethan sat in silence. He had heard the words, but he had yet to fully understand them. Outside, the city pulsed with life, oblivious to the quiet collision of wealth, kindness, and destiny that had just begun. Somewhere, Lily was returning home, unaware of the man whose gaze had followed her without acknowledgement, unaware that her simple, selfless acts were already shaping the course of lives far beyond her own. Tina leaned back, preening slightly, utterly unaware of the storm quietly brewing in her boyfriend's heart. For the first time, Ethan felt that the world he had carefully curated, with all its wealth, beauty, and control, might not be enough. And far across the city, Lily's calm presence, her unwavering kindness, and her quiet courage had already begun to leave an indelible mark, one that would ripple through wealth, power, and love in ways no one yet could imagine. The kind of girl men overlook is usually the one that saves them.
To the hearts that held me steady when the storm came crashing through.